Yo, otakus, check this out. There's this place called Beautiful Halo, and they got some amazing anime merch like hoodies and t-shirts. They offer designs from DBZ, SAO, One Punch Man, and more. All with dope designs. Go treat yourself to what you deserve. Link in the description below. What's up, otakus? Welcome home to TaylorMadeOtaku. My name is Taylor, and today is the second and what I hope to be a long line of podcasts. I'm here joined today once again by the boy ShootingStar Sheriff.
Yo guys, what's going on?
Welcome back, Doug.
Hey man, thanks for having me back. I appreciate it. I like talking.
Yeah, welcome back.
I like talking about this stuff.
Yeah, I can sit here and talk all day about waifus, but we only have one question about waifus, so
I mean, when we get to it.
I'm gonna leave it for the last one because, by God, someone's been asking about this for a little while now, and we're gonna answer his stupid questions.
Okay.
But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. I hope my voice isn't as awful as some people have told me that it is, but hey. Here we go.
You can always click off of the video.
I mean, you can.
You're just saying if they don't like it.
You know, it is a free country.
You can do whatever you want.
It is a free country. But let's get into the first question. What do you think of anime that don't follow the manga? Noticeable examples being FMA, Akame ga Kill. Do you think studios really should make their own original ending or just wait for the intended ending in the manga? Do you like the studio original endings or only the manga?
Oh, that's a good question. Do you know who wrote that question?
I can look it up.
Well, I mean, you don't have to pull it up right now. I don't want to.
I think this was from Discord, I think.
Louise. I'm going to put that right there. That was the buzz. The buzzing.
I'm definitely pretty sure this came from Discord. Yes, it did. From DXD Liam.
Oh, thank you, DXD Liam, for the question. So what do I feel about just pretty much just anime and manga that don't follow the original endings when they come up with their own stuff when it's original? I think the general consensus is for most anime that have manga adaptations. Not every anime has a manga adaptation. Sometimes they come from novels, and then they become anime adaptations. So it's different, right? Everything comes from somewhere. So when they don't follow the source material and it ends up being like a filler-ish ending, you know what, man? It really depends on the anime, because especially talking about Full Metal Alchemist, like I grew up on the original. I mean, and that was before like I even really read Full Metal Alchemist. So like I still enjoy the original Full Metal Alchemist and I still appreciate it for what it is. Now a lot of people don't like the ending because they're like, oh, it's not what happened in the manga. But I feel like the reasons why studios have to do that is because, especially if it's something that's still ongoing and it doesn't have an ending yet, or it just depends on how much the studio, how many episodes they get budgeted out, you know what I mean? So it really just depends. But for Full Metal Alchemist, like me and you, we watched that. We watched Full Metal Alchemist multiple times, the original. And I like both Brotherhood and FMA, but I think the original FMA just has like a special place in my heart because it's just the original. Now,
I mean, it was the first one that we watched.
Yeah, but now I know Akame ga Kill is more controversial because that was newer, and that was more recent, rather, or might I say, it's just, I think if it's done in a way that it's still tasteful and it doesn't, You know what I mean? If it's still done in a way where it still like pretty much appreciates like the series and stuff like that, and it really takes into the characters and how those characters would still act in that type of situation, I don't mind a studio coming up with their own original ending, because at that point then there's like a reason to watch the anime, and then a reason to read the original series, and you know, being able to draw your own conclusions. But what do you think, dog? That's kind of my thought. I think as long as it's done in a tasteful way, it's fine.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Like looking at this, like, do I think that they should make their original ending? If the manga isn't done, then sure, why not go for it? Or do what some studios do and leave it up to interpretation, and they stop the manga at a certain point, i.e. Nisekoi. Because Nisekoi tried to do that. They followed the manga for the most part.
Yeah.
In season 1. Well, in season 1, they completely followed the manga, and they left it off at a good point, a good stopping point. And then in season 2, they just jumped all over the place. They didn't follow the manga. And yeah, I haven't heard anything else about it. So, which is crazy because we were reading the manga. The manga finally ended. The ending was shit. I don't care what anybody says. And
so let's reverse it, because I don't think we've ever talked about Nisekoi on the podcast, or we've ever talked about how we feel about Nisekoi. But would you prefer if Nisekoi did an original ending versus the ending that we got in the manga? I'm just saying what you think, like you personally. Because I wouldn't mind if they did something different. But like that's because me and you both don't like the ending of Nisekoi. And we have our solid foundation in it. We have our reasons of why we don't enjoy it. I'm not trying to give spoilers for those who are still waiting for another season to be announced.
There's not going to be another season.
I don't want to spoil it just in case somebody actually does want to read the conclusion for themselves.
Yeah, go read the manga. It'll just go read the manga.
But
I can't.
But I said,
I can't.
But now, if Nisekoi did do its own thing and did its own original ending,
the anime?
Yeah, the anime. How would you feel about that?
It would depend on what that ending is, because there are way worse ways that they can do it.
That's what I'm saying. But let's say if it even ended, but see, I think at that point it just really comes to do you really enjoy the show for the? And I feel like that's what a lot of people miss. I think that's a common misconception about anime. Like, if it ends horribly, then it ruins the entire story. And it's not necessary. And I understand, an ending. I feel like an ending doesn't have to answer every question or every lingering question. It just needs to wrap up the big ones. And then, the loose ends, those can be left up to interpretation. I think that's a common misconception. I feel like if the ending is at least strong enough for you to, be like, okay, it answered at least most of my questions, then I think it's a solid ending. But if they did do their own ending for Nisekoi, I wouldn't be upset about it. I would welcome it, not just because I feel a certain way about the original ending. Just because, it's cool to have different spins and different takes on different series. So I feel like when you get those types of shows that where the studio gets to come up with another ending or another different kind of way to, tell a story, it's really neat. Especially in Full Metal Alchemist's case, because it ended and then it had a movie that came out years later to capitalize on the original ending of the original Full Metal Alchemist. Remember? You don't remember they released Full Metal Alchemist released that movie that took place after the ending of Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah, I remember the movie.
Yeah, the movie. And,
I like that movie.
Yeah, and Al had it was Al dressed up like Ed, and it was cool. It was cool because I liked that different take on it. It's just a different take on it. It's kind of like a what if scenario. You can take it or leave it as is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which, one of my favorite manga or one of my favorite series of all time is Hitman Reborn. I don't like the ending of Hitman Reborn. It's not my favorite.
Anime or the manga?
The anime just stops in like in a nice place.
Oh.
It follows the manga, but it ends at a place where you're like, oh, you can take that as the ending. But if you want to keep reading it, you can pick up literally from where it leaves off, if you don't feel inclined to keep continuing. But the actual manga ending of Hitman Reborn is not my favorite. It's not my favorite ending. But that doesn't dismiss the fact that I still call it one of my favorite. It's literally one of my favorite series of pretty much of all time. It's like one of my personal favorites to this day. And I still love Katekyo Hitman Reborn for its story and its character growth and the main I still love it for the story that it told, not for the ending. You know what I mean? So I think it just really comes to how you feel about endings in general. But I like sometimes having the cool what if scenario is cool.
And If it's a good ending, I don't really care what it is. As long as I can enjoy the ending, then everything will be fine.
Fine, yeah. I think I like that, yeah. So that's pretty much my thoughts.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to say on that. If it's a good ending, then it's a good ending. Enjoy it. And if you don't like the ending to the anime, read the manga. Mm-hmm. So there you go. Yeah. It's more of an incentive to read the manga. Like for Akame ga Kill, I enjoyed the anime itself. A lot of people hated the anime. The only fact that I didn't like is because they literally just killed off literally almost everybody. But apparently that's not how it works in the manga. So people are outraged. I really don't care. They say go read the manga. I'll get around to it eventually. So all I know is that Death is the girl. She's the one.
Yeah.
But moving on to the next question. What's your opinion on live actions? You mentioned that it gives exposure, but ignoring that and just looking at pure quality / enjoyability of live actions.
Oh, this is like a follow-up to like what we talked about last time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Live actions have... Okay. I was thinking about this earlier today. I actually.
Okay.
I was having a conversation. Live actions could be dope if they pick the right show.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's a lot of things, but at the same time, they have to pick something popular that has like a massive fan base.
Yeah.
That'll go and like give revenue and give like an audience to it. But the problem is most of those shows are really, most of like the popular love shows like Death Note, they're easy to fuck up.
Yeah.
If you ruin, if Ryuk's not perfect, you fucked it up already. Yeah. And that's how people are going to view it. And if you try to localize it like they did with Death Note, people are gonna hate it. Like the diehards are gonna hate it. Some people are gonna go in with like
no expectations,
with like either no expectations or this with like an open mind. And I know some people who watch the anime and they watch the live action and they like the live action. Some people didn't watch Death Note, didn't watch the anime, watched the live action, and they hated the live action. And other people watch the anime and watch the live action and they absolutely hated the live action. I did not enjoy the live action, but then again, that's just my own personal opinion. What was the other one? Attack on Titan. That one's easy to fuck up.
See, okay, now and you're right. At the end of the day, it really comes up to who's working on these shows and who's doing these adaptations. And I want to just kind of get one thing clear, because I feel like this kind of happened with, remember when they did the last Airbender Avatar? Remember?
Yeah, that was just trash.
That was trash. But there's one bit, the only reason I bring that up is to say this. As long as you have good characters playing those roles, I don't care what color, race, or nationality the characters are. Because one of the biggest things a lot of people will say about anime, because with anime, characters are drawn to be very distinctive and to be very recognizable. So like if you put a silhouette of Mario and Sonic next to each other, you're supposed to know by silhouette alone what those characters look, who those characters are. Same thing with anime. You have these main characters have to be, if you put a silhouette on them and you couldn't see any other details but just like their outline, you should be able to, I mean, if you watch the series and you are a fan of that series, that whatever character is from, you should know them like at the you know, at the drop of a pin. You know what I mean? Like you should know them instantly. So, but with live action, that's harder because these characters aren't hand drawn, they're real. Like I think some of the biggest ones were like Katara and Sokka were not tan, or they didn't have darker skin, and that doesn't bother me. If the actor can play the role well, the actor can play the role. Like it comes out. That's like just one thing I kind of wanted to put aside about the whole live action thing, because a lot of people are like, oh, they have to look like the character, and it's just like it's hard to get that hair. It's just the hair, and it's just like, you know, having those distinctive types of features or some things you can only do in an art form. But like there's like a I think it's a Japanese only thing, or it's made in Japan, but there was like a live action adaptation of Rurouni Kenshin, and I heard it was actually received pretty well. But look, Rurouni Kenshin, you could do a live act because it's like samurai. It's samurai and stuff, and there's nothing too like crazily over the top. And like some of these other shows, like Attack on Titan, like I would feel like you would need like some big budget movie type quality, because the first thing you're gonna be like, all right, now when they fight these Titans, which, you know, these Titans need to look like, oh my god, they need to look amazing. And
they do, and you know, anime movies just aren't given like that big of a budget, so we have to look at that from a kind of like a expectation type of way. Like you have to keep your expectations reasonable.
Yeah,
like
you really do. Especially with Attack on Titan, because it's funny because I've been trying to actually think about going back to Attack on Titan, because I remember season one was hyped because of the action, right? And then remember that huge gap that was in between season 1 and season 2?
Yeah, it went like 3-4 years.
It was and a lot of people fell off. But Attack on Titan isn't really an action-oriented show. It's very dialogue driven. From most, you know, people who will read the manga and they're watching the anime. I know the final season is about to come out.
Yes.
So I kind of want to get back into it, but it's one of those shows where it's not really about, fighting the Titans are cool and there are iconic scenes in the show where, you know, they're fighting the Titans, but it's more about the dialogue. It's the characters drive the plot. It's not the Titans that drive the plot. It's the characters. So it just really depends on really who picks up the live action, what creative minds are behind it. But if the right shows were picked for live action adaptations and they focused on making them really well, I think live action adaptations could be great.
Yeah, like you have to pick like a show that's one, easy to adapt, two, can appeal to not just like anime fans but like
the general public.
And the like one, and I was thinking about it, and like one of the perfect ones is Black Lagoon. That show would be literally the easiest thing that they could adapt.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not over the top at all. There's guns, explosions, there's that's for like the action fans. Revy is a goddamn treasure. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah. The world's gonna love her. Don't know who can really play Revy. Not off the top of my head. Then again, I don't know many actresses. You can literally get like any big black guy to
jeez
to play the homie. You can get like a nerd, and you can get like a normal looking guy to play Rock. Maybe Michael Cera. Definitely not Michael Cera. He's way too plain. Like literally like all the women are like badass, so there you go to the feminists out there.
Yeah, Black Lagoon. The women in Black Lagoon, they kick ass.
Like they literally drive the show. They're like literally the best parts about the show, other than just its overall aesthetic.
You know, and I feel like just and you know, pretty much Alita Battle Angel, that was probably the most recent thing. Yeah, and Alita Battle Angel was pretty well received.
Yeah, it was well received. I personally didn't get a chance to catch it, but from everybody that I watched reviews and listened to and talked to, they said it's a step in the right direction. It was definitely a good movie for, you know, an anime movie, because lo and behold, what was the first one? Wasn't it Dragon Ball Evolution?
Oh, let's not talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes they're just bad adaptations.
Well, here's the thing: when you're doing an adaptation means you're taking this IP, you're retelling the story. You're gonna hit some of the major beats of like the story, but you're gonna tweak it a little bit because you know you have a slightly different vision of how a certain event would play out or something like that in your head. So that's what an adaptation means. It doesn't mean a retelling. Because a lot of people say, oh, it's an adaptation, so it's going to be scene by scene, everything in the anime. No, it's an adaptation. We'll probably hit out some of the big points on point sometimes, depending on what we're talking or what it is. But most of the time, an adaptation is like, we're going to take this series, we're going to take some of these scenes and stuff from this series, but we're going to kind of re-envision it in our way, you know, what we think those events would play out. So it's just kind of really knowing what really an adaptation is, and I think a lot of people kind of confuse an adaptation and like a remake. I feel like a lot of people confuse the two a lot.
Yeah, that's true. Also, but at the same time though, I do want like a scene by scene remake.
And like I said, it just depends. It really just depends on what it is.
But yeah, like a live action adaptation, it can work if you pick the right show, or if the show you pick has a big enough budget and some good actors.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see a live action Initial D. I think that would be cool.
That's called Fast and the Furious.
I mean, you're right.
Oh yeah, we had Pokémon too. The live action Pokémon.
You talking about Detective Pikachu?
Yeah.
Yeah. But look, I feel like that's taking IPs that have anime influences, but stepping in the right direction. Like Alita Battle Angel, Pokemon, and like what they did right with Pokemon was it wasn't a story about going out, getting badges, and fighting the gym. They took a side game, which Detective Pikachu is a side game that originally came out on the DS or something like that, and they turned that into the movie. And they took like the general plot of that or the general theme of that game, and they turned that into a movie. So it shouldn't, like 9 times out of 10, like sometimes you remake these IPs, but do something that's fresh with it instead of, like, you know what I mean? Because Detective Pikachu, there really wasn't any Pokemon battles in the movie. For those who've seen the movie, there's very little, but it's more about seeing the Pokemon, seeing Pokemon interact with humans. That's kind of like what would we do if Pokemon was actually real and they had like real tech, you know, if they looked like they were actual creatures. Like that's kind of like the main draw of why you go see it, and it fulfills that, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it really just depends on how you're working with it, like how you're working with this popular IP and popular things like that. It just depends.
Yeah, some Pokemon look absolutely horrifying. Mr. Mime is horrifying.
Yeah, Mr. Mime is horrifying.
Mr. Mime is horrifying.
Oh, I love seeing the Apom in the movie because Apom's my favorite Pokemon.
I mean, the Charizard though.
Oh yeah.
That Charizard though.
That Charizard looks like a beast. Like, Charizard looks like Charizard.
Yeah, like Charizard's my favorite Pokemon by far, and will never be topped.
So how did you feel when you saw Charizard in the movie?
I creamed a little bit.
Because it
I'm not gonna lie.
Like that's but like you're like that's how Charizard would look like in my head. Like that's how I've always seen Charizard in my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, that's Charizard.
But yeah, live actions can be good. Just depends. What's next? What do you think makes shonen anime popular, especially given how many are out there? People love a rags to riches story, and they love to see a lovable main character achieve their dreams.
Not just that too, because I mean, at the end of the day, what makes shonen so popular?
Also, fights.
I mean, yeah, that's not what. Yeah, I mean, like you said, the rags to riches, but at the end of the day, you have to remember what the shonen audience is. The shonen audience is intended, not saying it's for, because there are a lot of girls that are into shonen as well, but shonen is for young males between the ages of like what 8 to 13.
It's like 10 to 18.
10 to 18. So they're made with the core audience of guys at mind, and for shonen anime it's pretty male dominated. So that's why it's popular. I mean, it's popular for that. I mean, there's a lot of other things that contribute into a specific show being popular. Because I'll tell you, I've seen good shonens, I've seen bad shonens. They're out there. They're definitely out there. And there's so many because look, like, yo, Dragon Ball Z paved the way. Like,
yeah, Dragon Ball Z is pretty much like the Godfather.
It paved the way. It really showed. I mean, and the only reason I'm bringing Dragon Ball Z up, I know a lot of people have their qualms with Dragon Ball Z, but people got to realize that Dragon Ball Z set that in motion. Like, how do you set up tournament arcs? How do you go about doing stuff? How do you go about doing a tournament arc like structure? How do you do stuff like, just certain things, certain niche things like that? How many shonen anime have a tournament arc or some kind of battle arc?
Damn near all of them.
Just all of them. Yu Yu Hakusho, the dark tournament. It's literally called the Dark Tournament,
which is probably my favorite arc in the entire thing. And they had two. That's one. They had 2 tournament arcs. Yeah. It was fantastic.
But there's nothing wrong. My Hero Academia, the sports festival. I
like that one because it was quick.
It was a lot quicker. It was snappier.
I did.
Things happen. That. Things transpire a little quicker. But it's basically set up like the like any World Tenkaichi Budokai in Dragon Ball. Like, it's pretty much set up 2 characters step into a ring, they duke it out, one leaves. Like, and they had an out of bounds limit.
Has Black Clover had a tournament arc?
I think they're gonna have the magic games or something like that.
Fuck it.
So, but like I'm saying, most anime do it because like it's a cool way to get so many characters. Because shonens also normally have huge rosters when it comes to character size. Most shonens have a lot of characters, so you want to show off all these characters and introduce all these characters and what their abilities are. So,
does One Piece have a tournament arc?
They have like, I mean, there's like, yeah, there's like an arc where a character participates in a tournament. Luffy.
Oh. Bleach doesn't have one, does it?
No, but you could technically say the Soul Society is very tournament-ish. Ichigo faces off against one member of like the Soul Society
and loses.
And loses, but he doesn't fight everybody in the Soul Society, but he fights a lot of the major players. Like the Renji, like he gets the first fight with Renji, then he gets the rematch. So that's like the grudge match. And then you've got the Ichigo versus Kenpachi, and that's like kind of like in its own little ring. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying it's not beat by beat a tournament arc, but they take a lot of those tropes that you see in tournament arcs and they apply them in their own ways. So you know, and I'm only using Dragon Ball Z as an example because it's such a godfather of everything. Yeah. But shonen anime are popular because of those things, man. Like that progression, especially in Dragon Ball. You see Goku from a little kid and you see him become a grown man. Like for a lot of people, they watched Goku when they were legit kids, and now Goku's like the same age as most adults that have followed the series into today. So there's that. You get that because of the longevity of a lot of shonens too. You really feel like you have grown to know these characters, and you feel like you grew up with them, especially in Goku's case, because like Dragon Ball had that special. I think Dragon Ball has that special factor that a lot of people, especially with Naruto. There's a lot of people that grew up with Naruto like they grew up with Dragon Ball, where like when Naruto started, they were like 12, 13, and they grew up with him into Shippuden when like in their late high school years.
Yeah.
So
I mean, shonens are fun. Shonens are fun. They're cute and they're cheesy.
They're great.
And every once in a while you get one that's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Like Demon Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
Demon Slayer is absolutely fantastic. And I like how most people just got on to Demon Slayer after episode 19, which is nice, because they're it's getting more light than it does deserve. We've got a lot of them now.
Yeah, we do.
We got quite a few good ones. Black Clover, My Hero, The Promised Neverland. That's labeled as a shonen. Radiant. I watched a little bit of Radiant. That's it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Boruto, which is utter garbage, ruining everything that Naruto built. Yeah. Really quickly.
Yeah, it's just, it really just comes down. Shonen does so many things, but it's really just taking those tropes of shonen and putting your own spin on it, what's making it unique. That's why My Hero is so big. They've taken the shonen archetype and they've taken the tropes of shonen and they flip them on their head, or they do something a little bit more unique with it, and that's what makes it popular. That's what makes Hunter x Hunter great, because Hunter x Hunter is a shonen, which... For all those Hunter x Hunter fans out there, hit the like button right now. For Hunter x Hunter is a deconstruction of shonen. So it's a shonen, but it does everything ass backwards. So, but it's cool that it does it that way. Some things are still very shonen-like, but they don't do it in the way that you would see it in most shonens. And it makes Hunter x Hunter truly stand out amongst all the other shonens out there, because it takes those tropes of shonen and it deconstructs it, and it like kind of almost flips it on its head, and it makes it great. So shonen anime are popular. They are, but I think it's just those stories of it's an underdog story. It's always a story about overcoming your demons and overcoming what's in front of you to be better. And I think it's not just physically but mentally as well, and just always striving to do your best. So that's why they're good. They're just great underdog tales, and who doesn't like an underdog story? And
friends are great.
Friends are great. Friends are power. My friendship is power. Kingdom Hearts, my friendship is magic. Friendship, my friends are my power. Anyway,
I think that's such a nice thing in shonen, but I'm kind of sick of seeing it. I'm kind of sick of seeing it, but at the same time, I kind of like seeing it when it's on the screen. Oh yeah, is that weird? That's kind of weird, right?
I don't know, because I feel like when in an anime, you can show a lot more. Especially with longer running series, you can do flashbacks and stuff like that. So like you can really get that effect of that a lot stronger than you can in a manga. So that's really it though. But yeah, shonen anime are popular. They're not bad. Shonens are not bad, but they're good. They're good. I love shonens, but that's coming from a shonen guy myself. So
shonens are almost perfect.
But then there are some shonens that are they make you feel like badass, like Drifters. Drifters makes me. I watch an episode of. If you have not seen Drifters, go look up the theme song. Pause this video. Go listen to the Drifters theme song. Come back. Let me know that you watched it, and tell me if that just listening to that doesn't make you feel like a badass. Like, Drifters is just cool. Like, there's really no like. There's kind of an underdog story in Drifters, but like, I just like it because like, I just like seeing these characters just shit up, and I'm just like, oh, this is cool, and it just makes you feel like a badass, and you know what I mean? Like, it just makes you feel empowered.
Yeah, some stuff you just turn your brain off and enjoy.
Yeah, like Dragon Ball.
Bro, yeah, like,
let's not get into this. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, dog. Some anime you just gotta turn your brain off and just enjoy it. It just sucks that most of those are shonens. But, yeah, shonen is just a great genre in general. It's not a genre. It's just, shonens are great in general. Okay, moving on. Code Geass is still, to this day, the best anime, in my opinion, with its plot. And what makes it the best for me is the ending. What do you think of it? And is Code Geass the best ending there is in anime?
Or something else, I guess. That's what the question mark means.
Maybe.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe. And please tell me your opinion of the new Code Geass movie. Thank you, man. Thank you for the question. Code Geass is a strong one. What makes it the best is I love that you put that what makes it best for you is the ending. I don't know if you're watching this or if you're listening to this. You said that you like the ending. That's what makes it the best for you. For me, it's the characterization in Code Geass is so strong, which is because Lelouch is still the same character he is episode 1 that he is in the final episode, which is cool in itself, because at the core of everything that he's been through, at the end of the day, he has not wavered in who he is. He might have had, the thing is the sacrifices and the lengths he goes to maintain who he is what makes Lelouch such a great character. But the characterization in Code Geass is very, very strong. To me, it's the characters that sell the show. The ending, which is, oh my god, it's been so many years, but I do remember the ending.
Yeah, I do remember that ending. I remember... It's
great. It's a great ending.
Yeah, I remember thinking that it was a great ending. Is there an ending that's better? I don't.
That's hard.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Because...
Jesus Christ.
Because Code Geass is very more like a very psychological, very more like... It's more dialogue driven, and it's more driven off of like politics and like world government, and how people think and how people react, and it's really dope. It's really cool because there's actually a video that I watched that completely dissects and goes into the whole psychology of Lelouch and like the whole, and just Code Geass as a whole. If I could ever find it, if I can ever find the video, I'll actually link it in a comment at the bottom of this if I can find it. But it's really good. The ending is really great. My thing is because the ending of Code Geass is so good, I'm very optimistic. I'm very like nervously excited for the movie.
Yeah.
Because everyone had their theories that Lelouch wasn't dead, and now that this movie is literally called isn't it called The Resurrection of Lelouch?
I think it is.
So my whole thing is like, okay, can I spoil? I'm spoiling Code Geass. It's over 10 years old. If you have not watched it by now, go watch it, or just skip ahead a few minutes. I'm going into this, but the way Code Geass ends is Lelouch's goal was to get the whole world to hate him, even his sister, who from the jump is the sole reason he is going through everything. The only reason he's doing all of this is to protect. I can't speak. Is to protect his sister, and he dies. Not only giving the burden of Zero to Suzaku to carry out his will as his best friend, as much as he's put him Suzaku through. Let's not get into what Lelouch and Suzaku went through. Yeah. But Lelouch's battle was always with him. Was never more so with his enemies, like his father and the government and, you know, his family. His battles was always with himself and maintaining that mask of being evil when he, like, where he has good intentions and he knows how he wants to, you know, bring the world to peace. And he literally focuses the world's hatred on him, so when he dies, he will bring about world peace. So it's beautifully, like, it's such a great written narrative for Lelouch. So I can't see, if they're bringing him back, that means it's just like shit has hit the fan again. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what's happened? Like, I mean, the only other thing I could probably think is, off the top of my head, is I like Gurren Lagann's ending. I really like Death Note's ending.
Cowboy Bebop, though.
Cowboy Bebop has a great ending too. I feel like
that.
I'm thinking of, like, really good endings that, like, really fit the show and really fit those characters. Like, Bebop is probably right up there with Code Geass as far as, like, characterizations and how everybody would react to something ending, or just how they would end off that series with those characters and not breaking who these characters are in their final moments on screen. But I would say, like, Code Geass, Cowboy Bebop,
they're like all. You know what? As much as I really didn't like the ending to Gurren Lagann, you actually sold me on it for it being like an actual good ending. But I put, like, those three as, like, some of the best endings. There's probably a lot more out there that we're not thinking of. Yeah. Like, dude, like, that's a tough question. That's a tough question, man. Like, do I think it's the best ending of all time? I think it's up there. I think it's definitely up there.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's really great.
Because that also entails, like, what's your definition of, like, a great ending? Is it, like, a happy ending? Is it one that makes you think? Is it one that makes you feel something?
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
Yeah, there's a lot, and it's gonna vary from person to person. I know some people who would claim that Clan Ad After Story had the greatest ending of all time, and I tell them all the time, you're goddamn wrong. That ending was awful. And this is coming from me, from someone who actually really enjoyed Clan Ad After Story. Yeah. That ending was just it was a bad ending. Like, I'm sorry, it was.
Like, it really just depends. Like, I'm a huge fan I know I said I'm a shonen guy a few minutes ago, but I'm a very big fan of an anime called F Tales of Memories and Tales of Melodies.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan, and F Tales of Memories because there's several short stories in Elf Tales of Memories, but they all have their own conclusions, and I feel like some of those endings are some of the, like, top tier in anime. But it really just depends. It really just depends on your own personal tastes. It's a personal taste. But for the second part of this question, tell me your opinion of the Code Geass movie. I'm hyped.
Yeah, I'm hyped too.
I want to see Suzaku again.
I don't want to see Suzaku again.
I want him to preach about justice.
I'm more of waiting to see Colin again.
Oh yeah.
Because Colin was the girl, dog. She was fine and she was badass. Yep. She was awesome. I can't wait to see her again.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But, I don't... You know when that movie's coming out?
No, I don't.
Yeah, me neither.
We'll figure it out after this podcast goes up, and we'll post it, or we'll say something about it.
Yeah.
Or you'll put a little asterisk in the thing.
Yeah. But, all right. Okay, let's move on to the next one. 3 unpopular opinions you have about anime. This one's from Pancakes.
I love how you knew this was from What's Good, Pancakes.
Yeah, like I remember scrolling down trying to pick which 10 I was going to use, and it's like, you mother... let's see. 3 unpopular opinions that I have about anime. Sword Art Online is trash. I don't like Ichigo from Bleach.
He's not your favorite main character.
He's definitely not. And a lot of people love him. And I understand. I just don't. Let's see. I mean, I got roasted for that. No, I got roasted for saying that nobody's watching Bleach anymore. That's why people started to, like, roast me. And even though... And I guess that means that I'm saying that Bleach is a terrible show. Like, people aren't watching it anymore.
It's not. It's literally not on air.
Like, it's not like nobody's watching that anymore. People are watching the newer stuff. But yeah, like that's 2. Oh, and mine from Shield Hero is a good character.
That was also something Pancake said, right? No, he was asking if we would smash or pass.
Yeah, if we would smash or pass mine. The answer is goddamn no. but mine is actually a really good character.
Oh yeah, she's a good character for her show.
She's a bitch. But
she's a great written character for like a foil, you know.
And let's be honest, the show would not be as good without her.
Oh yeah.
Which I hate to say, but you know, hey, it's just true. Mm-hmm. Without her being a goddamn cunt, I can really see Shield Hero going down the generic route for isekai.
Yeah, which I'm glad that it doesn't.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yeah. My 3 unpopular opinions I have about anime. I'm trying to think of if I do have an unpopular. I probably do, and I can't think about it. I'm trying to think right now. But those are some good ones that you said. But 3 unpopular opinions I might have is I
mean, if you can't come up with 3, that's fine.
Yes.
I had a discovery of that some people have an unpopular opinion. There are a lot of people who think that Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is overrated.
What are you talking about? It's the original. It's just the original story.
I know, but they say it's overrated. Like, people are like blowing up Brotherhood like it's the greatest anime of all time. Is it one of the best anime made? I think so, but they say that it's so overrated. They've been starting wars.
I don't know about all that.
They've been starting wars, dog.
I love Full Metal Alchemist. Like, I think Full Metal Alchemist hands down goes down as probably some of the best series.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this. If the original Full Metal Alchemist that we grew up with had Brotherhood's ending, it would be the greatest anime of all time.
Yeah.
If they had switched, like, endings, it'd be spectacular. Because the first Full Metal Alchemist, they had the scenes that actually hurt you. Like, Nina actually hurt.
Yeah.
Hughes actually hurt. Like, there are other, like, little things in there that actually hurt you. But rewatching it in Brotherhood, it lacks a bite.
Well,
like the original.
Not to mention, they gloss over some of the stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Because you got to think they made Brotherhood also to be like, okay, these people have probably seen the original, so we're not going to spend as much time on those scenes.
Which was awful.
So, because remember that whole Nina situation, they glossed over a lot of it.
They glossed over a ton of it, and it completely, like...
you don't get the same effect. It doesn't hit as hard.
Like, nowhere near as hard. Like, people are still hurt over Nina. There are people who make jokes about Nina, and people literally still say, to this day, it's too soon.
Yeah.
And it's been almost 15 years. It's probably been over 15 years, to be honest.
And it's still...
And Hughes still makes me cry. To this day.
Yep.
To this day.
Yeah.
That shit still hurts.
The unpopular opinions I have. I think a lot of people. That isekais are just every anime is an isekai.
What?
What? That's an unpopular opinion. Is it?
Wait, what?
Wait.
How is every anime an isekai?
Wait, no. I'm thinking. Sorry, I died. My brain died. My brain died. That I was thinking of something a lot of people say about anime. Like people that don't watch anime or people that don't know a lot about anime. That's what I was thinking in my brain.
Oh, like all anime is hentai?
That's
I hear that.
That one's a very popular one.
Like I've actually sat down with people who have never watched anime before, and they're asking me where are the tentacles. Like they just expect tentacles just to be in anime. And I'm just like, there are no tentacles in this. What are you trying to?
I don't have any unpopular. I don't have any I can't think of any.
I mean, you hate Sword Art Online with a burning passion.
I don't like the way. I don't like Sword Art Online, but I don't like the way I don't like the way in the first story the characters. The characters I can't get behind. I personally just don't like the characters, which is funny because I'm playing like the Dot Hack GU games from the Dot Hack series. I'm playing Dot Hack Sign, and I just remember that this is completely off base because Dot Hack and Sword Art are pretty much like the same thing, but
one's better.
Dot Hack GU is really good, but it's funny because there's so many actors in Dot Hack. In Dot Hack GO, the main character Haseo is played by Yuri Lorthenhall, the voice of Sasuke.
Fuck Sasuke.
But Yuri,
he's got a cool voice, but fuck.
Oh yeah, but Yuri voices like everything.
Like Vic.
Yeah. I don't know if Vic Mignogna is in Dot Hack, but there's a lot of top tier voice actors that are in Dot Hack, which is funny because that game came out on the PS2.
Is Goku in it?
You know what? I don't know if Sean Shama, I haven't heard his voice yet, but I know the main character is voiced by Sasuke.
Hell yeah.
Sasuke.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. But let's see what the next one is. Ooh, you should like this one. Can I read this one?
I mean, you can read it.
Okay. Thank you. What romance anime do you really like? You can perhaps recommend some good ones. What do you think makes it good? This is kind of like a 2-question one. So the first one is, what romance anime do you really like? Want some suggestions? And what do you think makes a good anime character? Because we kind of have glossed over a little bit of what makes a good anime character a little bit. Let's do romance anime. Do we really like? You really like Shuffle?
I fucking love Shuffle.
Really like Shuffle.
Shuffle is like I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it until I'm blue in the face, which is gonna take a long time because I'm black. But Shuffle is the greatest harem ever made. Shuffle is also a pretty damn good romance anime on top of everything. I think it's My Love Story. I think that's what it's called. That show is amazing. Suridure Children
is really good.
Absolutely
adorable.
Fantastic. It's adorable. It's like, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's pretty much a bunch of couples going throughout their day-to-day lives as couples, going through and over stuff, and you get to see like a bunch of different takes. You get to see like a student council president date a delinquent. Like, you get to see like,
oh yeah, you should say that they're all high school students.
Yeah, they're all high school students. You get to see like this guy who claims up and down that he's ugly, and this girl's just in love with him. It's absolutely just it's like the cutest thing. Like, Takagi-san is absolutely adorable. If you haven't seen that one, like, bro, I could go on for days. But let's see.
I like what Koida Uso.
Kota Uso
very strong
is
romance.
Absolutely
very strong.
Fantastic. And we even we disagree on who's the best girl, and that's absolutely fine. Because the thing about Kota Uso is they are both fantastic. Like, actually. Like, even I have trouble, like, just picking one to, like, more than the other one. I just like... Oh, God. I just like Masako better. But Ririna is so goddamn cute. I just can't.
Ririna, like, she's the girl.
Like, it's actually a fantastic
She has
show.
the qualities that I really would like. I look for.
Yeah, like they're both like utterly adorable, and I actually, he's one of the few main characters that I actually feel for. I actually feel for him making this decision.
And I think too is a lot of Kota Uso really goes with just setting up, like, that first episode sets up the world and the narrative and what's going on so strongly, and it really carries through, because you know how sometimes in a lot of romances, like, a romance will either lean either one way or the other. Like Kota Uso lends way more to its story side of things. They have a few jokey episodes. I think they have like one or two where they kind of like go off the beaten path a little bit. But for the most part, Kota Uso's there for like really the story and to drive the narrative forward. And I really enjoy that Kota Uso does that, where you have like one of my favorite romance comedies is probably still Love Hina till today.
I fucking hate Love Hina.
I love Hina because it was probably one of the first ones I got exposed to.
Which is really funny because when I first watched Love Hina, I hated the main girl. And that was pretty much it.
Oh, yeah, I remember
I hated her so much. But looking back on it, I just don't like the whole show. I can't do it.
As far as romance comedies go, I really do like that one, and but I mean hopefully we recommended a few that you haven't seen, maybe a few. Do you have any more, because you're more of a romance buff than I am. Dude, the Princess Bride, the Magus's the Magus's Bride.
Yeah.
Did I say that right? The Magus? The Magus?
No, the Magus Bride.
The Magus Bride?
The Ancient Magus Bride.
The Ancient Magus Bride. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
That's a strong romance. There you go.
It's also just really nice and really calm with some great animation and great plot. Mm-hmm. Let's see. What else, actually? I mean, you can even go so far as to say just love stories in anime. Like just like some couples that just are just utterly beautiful couples that you see. Yeah. Like y'all, I shit you not, when I see Krillin and 18, I melt a little bit. Like when I see Yusuke and Keiko, I melt a little bit.
When you see Naruto and Hinata,
I faint. I fangirl and then I pass out.
He fangirls, he passes out, and then Boruto walks into the living room.
And then I shoot him.
And then he gets very angry.
Like I hate that kid. Like, I honestly really hate that kid.
They have a cute daughter, though.
She's the best. She's actually the best.
I know you love her.
And she should be the main character. I mean, she punched the Hokage so hard that a tailed beast felt it, and they both passed out.
True.
Like, she's a beast.
True.
But she's a little adorable beast. But you know that you can ask him. Like, Naruhito's probably my favorite ship of all time because Hinata is my favorite waifu of all time. Like I think I said this like last podcast, but I'll say it again. He told me that there was a movie where it was Naruhina. I stopped everything I was doing and watched that movie in its entirety, and I squealed.
Like a little girl.
Multiple times.
Like a little girl.
Just like that.
Like that.
Just like that. It was fantastic. Like, even like little kind of unrequited love, I think, can be cute. Like in Black Lagoon, going back to that Revy has a thing for rock.
Yeah.
And it's the cutest thing to watch this absolute foul-mouthed beast just be like, I like him though.
Like, there's something charming and endearing about it. Yeah. No, I get that, and like romance is very highly subjective, and they have your tastes will go from back and forth on that one. But the other one,
what?
The one, what is it called? About the guy, and he works in the office, and the girl.
Wotaku?
Yeah.
When there's two couples?
Yeah.
And then there becomes three? Yeah, that one's great,
That's
too.
a romance. That one's
great, too. The recovery of an MMO junkie.
Morika! I love you! Morika!
My ear hurts.
Morika!
Jesus Christ. That one is, in fact, that's a pretty good one.
Morika.
To be 100% honest. You may be wondering why I haven't brought up Kirito and Asuna. That's because their love is shit.
Morika is the best girl. I love her. Oh my god. She is. You talking about a girl that I low key would like marry? Morika. Not even low key, high key. Not even high key. All the keys.
I put a ring on it too.
Morika is a great person.
What do you think makes a good anime character? Well, that depends on the type of character
that they are, and
they are, or like how they fit in the story.
Yeah.
If it's a character that's like, I don't know, like Goku or like Ichigo, where they're not really supposed to like develop too deeply, like they're not supposed to like change in any sort of way, then I think those guys are pretty fine. I just need for them to
kiss their wives.
Yeah, like kiss, like kid. Like, how the fuck is he not kissing? How does he have two kids and has never kissed his wife? It's the dumbest. I hate Goku. You know what? It's not even Goku. It's Akira Toriyama. He just be making shit up as we go along. But I think character growth is a really good part of it. I like the importance to the story, even if it's kind of like a minute like importance. I feel like if they have a role, if they fill that role like perfectly, I think they're a pretty good character.
I like characters that have really unique. I like characters that have really good flaws, like really good foils, or they have characters that kind of that kind of make the best use like of like their qualities, and that's kind of like how they like their step, like how they fall. Like I'm trying to really think of a good character with a really really good foil. I'm trying to think of like an actual good character with a good character foil. I mean, I guess you could say, to a degree you could, since we were talking about it, we can talk about Lelouch and Suzaku. Because both Lelouch and Suzaku, they both want world peace, but it's the way they go about it in two completely different ways, and that's where their disagreements, like lie in their core beliefs and stuff. Like Suzaku is that perfect antithesis to Lelouch, because Lelouch is like, nothing's gonna get done going through the system, where Suzaku was like, no, there's a proper way to do these things, and Lelouch is like, fuck that, I'm blowing shit up. That's how I'm gonna make some noise. Lelouch was gonna make a statement.
Yeah, he's like, democracy is too slow.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put my foot in their ass.
Exactly. Why am I standing up?
I don't know why you're standing up.
I got all passionate.
But
it really just depends on the show, the type of show, and what role they're supposed to fill. I mean, but then, oh god, I'm gonna get flames for this. Are
you gonna get flames for this?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get flames for this.
What the hell are you about to say?
I'm about to say Fairy Tail, and I'm about to bring up Lucy.
I mean, I don't know why.
But here's the thing with Lucy. I'm not saying like if Natsu never met Lucy in that first episode, everything would have probably still played out the way I can still imagine most of Fairy Tail playing out the way it did, just minus Lucy. Lucy. I was about to say Luffy. Lucy not being there, except for that one arc where her future self comes back. That's probably the one where they would have to tweak it a little bit. They could have just brought anybody else back from the future, really, to send them a warning. But that's why I really just can't really vibe with. I mean, it's one of the reasons I don't vibe with Lucy too, because like she never really feels that crazy important to the plot.
You feel like she's just there.
Yeah, she's just really along for the ride. I mean, I know I'm glossing. Like I said, I know I gloss over a lot of things but honestly. Like, I understand the whole point is, like, she met Natsu, and that chance encounter is kind of like, you know, it's just like this little meaning, this little encounter that I had with this one person, you know, started my whole life, you know, and what it is now. Like, it's like those little interactions that you don't think of that might mean anything end up becoming some of the craziest things that happen in your life. I get that. But that could have been anybody. It didn't necessarily have to be Lucy. You know what I mean? So, like, when it comes down to it, it's just like, I really don't feel like Lucy is that strong of a character. I'm not saying she doesn't have good I'm not saying that she doesn't have dope moments, or she may not have dope moments. She may or may have good, like, really good moments in the show. But, like, to me, it was always like, Natsu's the star of the show. Gray, like, oh, this is Gray's moment. Like, when I was watching the Tower of Heaven arc, I was like, this is Urza's moment. You know, Lucy has moments throughout those arcs, and she has where she like grows as a character steadily throughout. But it was never at a moment where I was like, Lucy, this is Lucy. Lucy's gonna do this, and she gonna rock this, and she's gonna own this show. Like, she was just kind of like it always felt like, and maybe this was the whole point of it, but maybe Lucy was always kind of like a representation of like us as the viewer, and we're seeing everything kind of unfold through Lucy. And it makes a lot of sense, because in the show she's a writer, or she's an aspiring writer. So if you look at it through a different lens, then okay, I can see the reason for Lucy being there. But literally, I can also see the events of Fairy Tail playing out if they replace Lucy with an X character, or if she wasn't there at all.
Okay.
Those are my reasons.
That's fair. I like how a lot of people think that useless characters aren't really good characters. I mean, because I can agree to that to a certain extent. I've never felt like, oh man, I hate them because they don't do anything, that they're useless. I just feel like that just gives them an opportunity later on to become useful. It's just like Sakura. She was literally worthless in Naruto, but once Shippuden came, you know, she became like a beast. You know, she's just as strong as Tsunade. Yeah, like just as strong as Tsunade. She can summon like a slug. I don't remember the slug's name. She's smart. She's like a medical ninja. Like, she became a whole lot more useful. I still hate her, but she became useful. Yeah. Even then, like, then you have characters that are kind of like, they're not really useful in like battle or like anything like that, but they're kind of like the glue that will keep like the team together. Yeah. It's like that. Remember Justice League Unlimited? Yeah. And remember like that little series? Well, not series. Like kind of like arc where like Flash was gone. Oh yeah, and the whole team fell apart without him. And like the whole team like fell apart without him. Or better yet, that episode where Starfire goes through time and she gets to the future, and like the Titans are just like split. I think like a character like that, I mean, no one's saying that Starfire is useless, but she's like the glue that keeps them together. And because there were a lot of people, like even I didn't think Flash was that useful, because he really didn't do much except for run fast and knock a couple guys out. But when he was gone, they literally fell apart and went completely like the other way. Like, they became miserable. And, you know, sometimes you just need characters like that. They can be good characters.
And it really just depends on, like, what really makes a good character really isn't. And for me, it's the situations your characters get into. Because there's a lot of time in anime where you'll put a character in a certain situation, and it happens in anime, and you've seen it, and you guys have seen it before, I know you do, where a character gets into a situation and they have to do something that is completely against what they think or what they believe to get the job done, or they have to, or they do something and you're like, wait, did that character just do that? That character doesn't do, like, that character will do something, be like, what? Like, it kind of like, you'll be like, why did they do that? That's not something that character would do. I like it when the character gets put in a position, or they get put in a situation where that character has to challenge himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't, because your character is, because you treat your character like a person. Like, if you put me in a situation, you're gonna want me, like, you have to write it as if it's believable that I did that. You know, like, cuz if I went outside, if I called you and I was like, cuz I'm gonna put like 8 bodies on the wall, you gonna be like, dawg, don't do that.
Don't do that.
But like, that's something that you would know. Like, I say that when I'm upset. Like, I'll be like, I'm putting bodies on the wall.
But like, if bro, calm down. It's gonna be alright.
Yeah, but if I called you and I just was like super cold and calculated, you'd be like, wait, what?
Like, what's going on right now?
Exactly. Like, it's not in character. So I don't like it when characters do things that are out of character, because then it ruins the believability. That's the one thing I don't.
Yeah.
So good characters make those hard decisions, but it still falls in line with, like, who that character is. So I like characters that get, characters that kind of can get put in those hard situations and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me for a good character is character development. Because I can tell you this, I can tell everybody this. You probably already know this. Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender,
probably one of the best.
He is literally my favorite male character of all time. His character arc and character development is some of the best I have ever seen in my entire life, and on anything. In movies, comics, manga, anime, all that. It's Zuko for me, and then Vegeta, right behind him.
Yeah, Zuko.
And like, most of his like development was pretty much his inner turmoil within his own, heart of what he really wants, and what
he wanted out of life. Yeah.
And him saying, being told, like, my destiny is to be this. But even though when you met him when he was a little kid, he was a good kid. Like, he was an actually just, like, good kid. And just everything that he went through with his father turned him into what we were initially, introduced to in the series. And shout out to Iroh, another great character. He's my favorite character in Avatar. Yeah, like he's a lot of people's favorite because he's dope. Like, he's a great character because he was kind of like the mentor that's like, I'm gonna be here with you, like, no matter what, no matter how. He was Zuko. He was Zuko's father. Yeah. He was his father. Yeah. He was his dad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Zuko's dad was like his dad, but he wasn't his daddy. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like how Yondu was like Star-Lord's like daddy. Like he may have been your father, but I'm your pappy. Yeah. And it's like, oh my god, dog, I cried when Yondu died. But but like, it's funny. Like, it's like you said, like, Iroh was like his dad. He was like raising him and like teaching him like all like he needed to know in the world, and like kind of like let him flow along like his own path to believe in what he wanted. But here's the thing, he wanted to do. Iroh never, and I'll say this and then we'll go to the next question. What and then you can finish your thought. What made Iroh so great was not only he mentored Zuko and he guided Zuko, but he let Zuko make his own choices. Yeah.
He never forced Zuko. Arrow never forced anyone to do anything. He never said, Zuko, do this. Like, I am telling you, do this. He always said this. What do you want? What do you want to do? Stop talking about what the Fire Lord wants. Stop thinking about what your pride and your honor. That's stuff that what do you truly want? What do you want? And he let him find those answers on his own.
He never turned his back on him either.
But he never turned his back on him.
That was like my favorite part about him.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not gonna ever like abandon you for any like decision that you made. And it's one of those it's probably like one of the two things in Avatar that made me cry. Like once like Zuko like found him again, and he was just like expecting him to be like just to hate him, just to hate him, and he's like, no, I wasn't angry with you. I thought you lost your way, so I was sad. And I'm just like, God damn it, man! And I started tearing up, dog.
Yeah, it's
like
strong.
it's
such a strong moment.
It's crazy. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of the greatest shows ever made. Yep. Whether you want to classify it as an anime or not, which doesn't make any sense to me because it's an anime. Like, it is. Like, if you could call something like a Gretzko anime, you could call Avatar anime.
True.
Like you know what I mean? But we're rambling. So let's move on to the next one. What's the name? Will Boruto or Sword Art Online get any better? No.
Well, don't they have those sword arts that don't deal anything with Kirito?
There was one, and it was great.
I see. I haven't watched that one.
It's called SAO Alternative. I think it's called Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online. I think that's what it's called.
Alternative. That's a long title.
And it's fantastic.
I see, you know what?
Because they're not in it.
I see, and that was the only thing with Sword Art for me. It was just I liked it to a point, but when they literally
it turned to shit.
When the characters' motivations literally switch out of nowhere through halfway through the show, it's so jarring. It put me off. It was so jarring. It put me off. Which I know everyone's gonna have their own opinions about it. I know people have already spoken up.
Oh, so you like me and how it went from like this crazy like kind of horror psychological type thing to a slice of life.
Slice of life. I'm gonna live with my girl in the mountains, and we have a pixie daughter. What?
Yep, they just showed up out of nowhere, and we just decided to keep her.
What? Like it? No, it's that. It was too jarring of a shift because you literally go from one episode being one thing, and the next episode we're complete. Oh, let's see how it'd be if Kirito literally shirked off everything he said he was gonna do and live in the mountains with his old girl and pixie daughter.
Yep.
Let's do that. And I'm just like, this is stupid. And I remember never watching past it.
An awful written romance between the two. Like it was so like kind of awkward to watch. This is coming from a guy who loves romance. I thought it was gonna be like a good thing for Kirito to get somebody to, help, keep him like motivated and stuff, and then they kind of just had sex, and then after they had sex, which came out of nowhere, by the way, like after they had sex, they just like, let's get married, and it's like, nigga, what? and then they just went to the mountains, and it's like, what are you doing? Get out of the game! Like, what part of the game is this?
Granted, he only ran into Asuna maybe one time before that episode.
Like, I think it was like
one. He
met her like on a quest. Then they went their separate ways. Asuna came back. She was like a cool person. I think they ran through like one or two missions together, and I think there might have been a time skip. I don't really remember, but
they only met like a handful of times before they were like, "Oh, we're gonna do the thing now," and I'm like, "What? This is weird. We just I literally just went on one mission with you. Like, what are we doing now?"
But then again, like I can. Ultimately, I can't excuse that because there is such a thing as one night stands.
That does.
But at the same time,
it even happens in game.
Yeah, but at the same time, even if you do feel her like that, and she's feeling you like that, and y'all end up, having sex, getting it on, doing the do. After that, you don't get married.
Yeah, cause
you don't wake up the next day and just go, let's get married.
No,
think about that. Think if your friend told you that shit. Like, he's like, yo, I met this girl, and you're like, okay. Like, dude, like,
I like her.
Dog, I like her, dog. She's bomb, dog. Okay. And she's fine as hell, and we just had sex, dog. Okay. And you're like, oh, okay, all right, look at you. Yeah, I'm gonna marry her. Wait. How long you known this girl?
One night.
I don't know, like a couple times. Like, we met up a couple times. We hung out like a few times. And you gonna marry her? Like,
I don't know her.
Like yeah.
Don't know her.
And this is where as a friend you're thinking, I'm about to slap the hell out of him right now.
I'm about to slap the hell out of my friend.
But then again, it's like I can understand it because they're kids. They don't really know much better. But to go straight, but even kids know that you don't go straight from sex to marriage. It's not how that works.
Bro, when you're 14, 15, and you just hyped up on video game hormones.
You just want to have sex. Like, it's fine. Blow off that steam. Don't get married. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then another thing that just came up like a couple hours ago, I was thinking about this for some reason. Like, in the second season, he has PTSD. Like, in the second season, Kirito has PTSD about Laughing Coffin, which apparently was like this group that went around just killing random gamers. Yeah. They knew what was going on. They just kill them. And I'm thinking to myself,
PK.
Wasn't the last thing that you did, like, you wanted to stay in the game with Asuna? Like, what? Are we going to gloss over that? But, hey, whatever. And then Boruto is just...
Let's not. We already have ranked
like Boruto is just... Okay, here's the thing. Okay. If Boruto came out like 5, 6, 7 years later than what it came out, I think Boruto would have been well received. It would have been pretty good.
The thing is it wouldn't have been scrutinized as heavy because there would have been such a huge gap between.
But then at the same time, I just can't bring myself to care about Boruto's problems. I can't bring myself to care. He has like the ultimate first world problems. Like, his dad isn't home enough because he's running a village.
My daddy's president, so he doesn't spend time with us.
Like, and I get it that he's like, I get it to a certain extent that he's like kind of like upset because he's looking at like Hinata. Like, Hinata's like not being with her husband. Like, his little sister's not seeing her dad enough.
Yeah.
Like, that I can get you being upset with. But here's the thing, both of them understand. Hinata has been waiting for Naruto for pretty much to notice her for almost a decade before you showed up. And he finally did. They got married. Bam! Now there's two of you. I can't bring myself to care about his problems because of what Naruto and his problems that he had at that age, which were literally a lot worse. Like, a whole lot worse. And Naruto does make efforts to see his family. But he's the Hokage. Like, he has responsibilities.
And I think another cool thing about it, too, is because we knew Naruto so much, thing is like, we kind of get to gloss over, because we didn't get to see Boruto as like a little kid growing up. It's like, maybe Naruto did make mistakes as a parent, but what parent doesn't make mistakes with their kids?
Like,
it's one of those things. It's like in Avatar. I'm about to mention it. I'm about to get flames. In Legend of Korra. I know everyone doesn't like Korra.
I like Korra.
But there's a really good episode where Tenzin, Bumi,
and their sister.
They're all talking. They were talking about how Aang didn't spend time with his first two kids, but he spent so much time with Tenzin. And Tenzin was the baby of the family. because Tenzin was the airbender. So Aang kind of played favoritism a little bit with Tenzin and raised Tenzin because he was his only airbender. So everything Aang had, he had to instill in Tenzin. That's why Tenzin's so like strict, and he's like, he's so like rigid.
Yeah.
About everything, which is funny because he's supposed to be an airbender, but like,
and also Aang's son.
Yeah, and Aang's son. But it lets you look at these characters in different lights. We all know that Aang isn't a bad person from watching the original Avatar.
Oh no!
But you got to think of it from his side of the story. Aang is the last airbender, so if he didn't have an airbender kid, his legacy is gone. So
pretty much like he would be the last airbender.
So when he had Tenzin, he was like, "Oh, I gotta," because Boomy would talk about how Aang and Tenzin used to go on adventures together and stuff like that, and and there's like a little hostility there because like evidently Aang spent way more time with Tenzin than his other sons, his son and his daughter. So and I say that to be like. It's just looking at Naruto in a different light. Like, Naruto is Hokage. We understand that he has a ton of responsibility. But you telling me there's not any point where he can kind of get away? For even at least a second, be like, yo, guys, I'm tired. I'm going to get some rest. I'm going home.
I mean, he probably could, but then again, we've never seen, like... We've never focused on like a Hokage's life, like their day to day. Like we don't know exactly what they have to deal with. I don't know. Maybe it's like meeting after meeting after meeting, and then paperwork, and then more paperwork, and then another
and that's
meeting.
What they look at, and that's how they portray it.
Yeah, and like he does send a shadow clone home, so he has at least some. He can experience something. That he can like be there in some sort of way. And then when he comes home, understandably, he's worn out. And he really can't do much. Then he has to get up and do it all over again. And so I give him slack. And I give Boruto some slack with that too. But I just can't care about him. And then again, like I said, if this came out like, I don't know what, like, how long has it been out? Like 2 years? Like 3 or 4 years from right now? Then it would have been like a whole bunch of hype. People would have been like, oh, it's this Naruto's back. It's his son now. And if we spend like a little bit less time dealing with like the parents, which we kind of do, but the first episode, literally all I cared about was everybody from Naruto. Oh, yeah. I cared only about them. I could care less about these ugly kids. However, I will say this. Boruto can probably get better. I don't know. I don't want to watch it, so I'm not gonna. But y'all tell me. I know there's some of y'all out there that's talking reckless, saying Boruto's better than Naruto. Y'all can go suck a fat ass dick.
I do know that Boruto has had good moments.
Yeah, everything has good moments.
Yeah, I heard that Boruto's had its moments, but I'm just saying, like, as far as Boruto as a whole, I don't know.
Like, just comparing, like... It's gonna be Naruto.
It's gonna have to pull off some crazy feats right now.
Like there's like jokes all over the place about Boruto destroying the legacy of Naruto. And from what I remember from the episodes that I saw, they're not wrong. But let's see, what else is there? Oh, since you don't like SAO, what would you change to make it better?
You know what? I think we said a lot about what we don't like about them, and I mean SAO. If we're talking original, I'm gonna keep it just to the first season and the first season only, just because talking about every season would take way too long. I would have omitted the Asuna Kirito relationship until maybe near the end.
Oh, really?
I don't mind the boy having a love interest. It's just the way they inserted it is so jarring and off-putting. I would have found another way to write it out, or I would have taken it out altogether.
Okay.
That's the one thing, because I wanted it to be about a gamer being a badass gamer and improving his skills. Like, I don't mind him having like his own personal things that he needs to get over or learn how to overcome.
Yeah.
To become a better person or a better character. That's great. That's fine. But don't have it come left field with no prior warning. It's like, oh, Asuna, here's this girl that you've seen maybe like 2 other times before now. Oh, now they gonna do the thing. Now they living in the mountains. Oh, now they got a pixie baby. Now he's just gonna live his days and just forget about his goal.
Yeah.
That's too jarring.
If I had to change,
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Like, what would I change? I think with them adding in Asuna where they added her in was fine. I just wouldn't turn the show into like a slice of life romance. After that, like I would keep them pretty much like together and trying to, get out of the game, together. I have them grow. They wouldn't have had sex, I can tell you that. They wouldn't have got married, I can tell you that. And once they got out, I would also cut out all the rape scenes.
Yeah.
Because there's 3 now.
There's 3.
Like, dude, like I legitimately...
There's legitimately 3?
There's legitimately 3.
Oh, okay.
Like, I tried my best. I got through season 1, like, the entire thing of SAO. I gave season 2 a chance. It started off fantastically. And then, it's funny, because literally after the rape scenes, they always go down. Like, there's literally, like, it's like every villain is a rapist, and I don't understand it. There's literally, that's almost like the laziest thing you can do to make a villain hateable. Let's make him sexually assault somebody.
Oh yeah, because anybody will instantly hate anyone who sexually assaults anybody.
Right, but you don't
like an
need
easy thing though.
Like, you don't need 3 of them. Like, if they had 1, I can let that go. I can let that slide, because it's like, okay, this guy's a sleazeball. But then you get to the next one, like, if he was like, I don't know, like a creepy stalker that wasn't trying to sexually assault her, then that would have been fine. And then the next 2 tried to use like their rank and privilege to like rape some twins and make this other guy watch. And it's like, bro, like, do we really need this? But I take out the rape scenes.
Like, I
make. You know what I would do? I would take out all of Kirito's plot armor, because he just pulls random shit out of his ass all the time, and it's not even like generic ass pulls like Goku. Goku will pulls ass pulls all the time. But they're always like in the form of like him having a spike in power, reaching another form. So it's like, okay, that makes sense to a little bit. But Kirito just has like stupid plot armor.
Like that, like in the end of the first. Well, I at least know this. Like the end of the first season, where the only reason he beats old dude is because he still has 1 hit point remaining because friendship.
Yeah,
because of love.
Yeah. That there's the one where he like legitimately has. Literally, there's a skill. There's a skill of dual wielding that he just pulls out of his ass. It was never in the game.
Oh yeah, he just gets the skill.
He just gets the skill, and it's like, why does he have dual wielding? But everyone's like, but that's so awesome. But why does he have dual wielding?
If it's actually not in the game, it's not supposed to.
Like, if it's not a skill in the game, how does he have it? And then Yui, the fairy, dies. Then he just opens up protocol and just kind of pulls her back from the dead. And it's like, if you can do that, why can't you get you guys out of the game?
Why can't you bring back all the friends that you've seen die?
Exactly. If you can pull her back, why not pull everybody else back? And then let's not even talk about the giant like middle finger to everybody watching when they asked like the bad guy, like, why'd you even do this? And he's like, I don't even remember. And it's like, mother.
Yeah, you hate that. You hate that with a passion.
What? Then they get out of the game, And then there's I don't even remember who he was. I think he was like Asuna's like fiance that was trying to take over her and like marry her unconscious body or whatever. Like, it was weird. It was weird and it was unnecessary.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, like I would
have just taken out all the uncomfortable scenes because that's just uncomfortable.
Like, I would much rather have them win their fights not because of Kirito's plot armor, but because they actually work as a team.
And they've mastered the game.
Yeah, they mastered the game and they mastered being like an actual team to beat the final boss.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
I totally. But see, that's what I thought the original SAO was going to be about, and that's what turned me off.
Yeah, because it should have been. Like, SAO is the biggest missed opportunity that has been a great thing, right? Because it's a great gateway anime.
Oh,
because when they watch it,
gateway.
You know, they don't
gateway. Yeah,
they don't. It's not like they think about it that hard, but SAO could have legitimately been an all-time great. It legitimately could have been, but it dropped the ball hard. And I like how people will when I tell them I don't like this show, and they're still like, dog, you gotta watch this show. And it's like, no, I'm not gonna watch this show. But you know what I will do? I will watch somebody review the show. And even then, bro, I watched Mother's Basement, his video on the latest season of SAO. It was 54 minutes long. I watched the entire thing.
Yeah.
And after watching that, I'm glad I didn't waste my time watching that season, because it was just the same old. But, you know, hey, we're rambling. So is horror anime that scary? Comparisons between horror movies and series with horror anime. Here's the thing, like, I've never been much of like a scary movie or series watcher, because they don't really scare me that much. Now, I will say this, I have been like disturbed and like unsettled and like creeped out, so I don't want to watch a show.
Yeah.
So I'll say that, but do I think they're scary? No.
I think unsettling, and they make you feel like you're like, okay, that's a little off-putting.
Yeah, like most scary things is literally a jump scare here and there.
Yeah,
and like
it's do it to get out of you.
Yeah, it's not like a legitimate like, oh my god, that's terrifying. Now, sometimes there will be like an unsettling like theme or whatever.
Yeah.
Like when I watched like the movie Quarantine. Like, you ever seen Quarantine?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Like, the movie itself is not that scary. But if you think of like the situation that they're in and put yourself in that situation, you be terrified.
Oh yeah, but see, that's what a horror movie tries to do. It tries to make you feel like you're that character in that position.
Yeah, like that shit would be terrifying.
So everything that character experiencing, you're experiencing. So you're gonna react to it the same way that character is, unless you like are like one of those really stupid movies where that character does the one thing that you're like,
why would you ever do that? Like, you hear a noise in the middle of the night, and you're just like, I'm gonna go check it out. Nope. Nope.
Or you're in like the spooky abandoned whatever, and it's like, hey guys, let's just go a little bit further. No.
Let's leave.
Let's not.
Let's leave and go. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen It Follows.
Yeah.
That one was really good. Like there are some scary movies that I actually like just enjoy. Like It Follows. Like, you have sex with somebody,
yeah,
and there's a thing that like follows you no matter where you go on the planet. It knows where you are, and it's just walking towards you. And when it finds you, it's gonna kill you. And the only way to get it to not follow you anymore is to have sex with someone else, because it transfer it to them. And it's one of those things to where you're like, this is actually kind of creepy. Now, like when you think about it. And then there's It with the clown. That was a fun movie. I actually really enjoyed that movie.
I think what makes it scary is like things that are unsettling. When things start to make you feel unsettled, then you're like, okay, yeah. Now I'm like, all right, this ain't cool. You're like, all right, cool, this ain't good. Yeah, this ain't cool.
It's like this movie on Netflix that I wanted to watch. That I got a chance to sit down and watch for like the first time. It's called 1922.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I saw it on like Netflix, and pretty much it's about this farmer in 1922 that was like, a farmer's land is like all he has, is like his pride, and his wife wants to sell the land, and she wants to like, I think, move to like a city or anything, and he's like, no, like I'm here, like this is my life, this is what I'm used to. And she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna get a divorce, I'm gonna take our son and we're gonna go somewhere else. So he's like, I don't want to lose my son and like be all by myself and like be lonely. So he like threatens, so he like gets with the son, he convinces the son that they had to kill the mom. So they kill the mom and they dump her body like the well, like in the back of the farm, and they start like getting like creeped out, you know, like the feeling like, oh my god, we just did something awful, like something bad's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. So they have like this sense of dread like the whole time. Yeah. And eventually they'll like look down there and they'll see her body, and then there's just like a rat in her like in her mouth and stuff. Yeah. And you're like, ugh, and it's kind of like a jarring thing. Yeah. And like as the movie goes on, like that one decision just derails his entire life because he's constantly paranoid, and it gets to the point to like, well, at the end of the movie, like he gets what's coming to him, and he was like expecting it and he was like ready for it. But yeah, that's another good one. But as far as like if they're scary, I don't find them scary. I find them unsettling and like creepy and like stuff like that. But as far as like comparisons, they're pretty much the same. Yeah. You know, like the only anime that actually freaks me out that I just won't watch is Higurashi. That for me is like it's really rough for me to watch that show. Yeah. And I just can't do it.
All right.
But last one. Who is the best girl in all of the Pokemon anime? If we talking nostalgia, we talking Misty. If we talking how I feel right now in hindsight, we talking Jessie. Now, when I was a kid, I did have a giant crush on Serena. Was her name Serena? Sabrina. That's Sabrina. It.
Oh, okay.
The psychic Pokemon trainer.
Yeah, the psychic gym leader.
Yeah, she was pretty good. She was pretty good.
Oh man, it's crazy because I've sparingly have off and on watched basically all of them. Like, I skip a lot of filler. I just pretty much watch everything plot eccentric, or like those ones that are like, oh, you should watch this one, this was really cool, or one-off episode,
like stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't. It's not like how I watch Yu-Gi-Oh, where I literally watch Yu-Gi-Oh like literally every week. Like every week it comes out and I watch that. Except for Arc 5, I dropped Arc 5 halfway through the Synchro Dimension, which I'm not gonna get into that. Pokemon animes, oh man, there's so many. I mean, if we're talking about like best girl for like, I mean, I don't know if the question is gonna be like best girl like
period,
or
like best girl from each.
Best girl from each one. If we're talking OG series, Misty.
Misty.
Yeah, pretty
much just Misty.
Just Misty. If we're talking if we're talking about advanced generation, that was Hoenn. No, wait. Wait. Oh wait, because Kanto and Johto was Misty. Hoenn was May. Was there anybody good from that series with May in it? I can't. I don't know if I can remember.
Yeah, like
I wasn't a fan of May though.
There's been. I didn't mind May.
May was okay. I didn't like Dawn.
Okay, when Dawn showed up, I was kind of annoyed. Yeah.
Did not.
But then that's when Brock came back, so I was kind of like.
Brock came back.
I was kind of like hyped for that.
Dawn.
And then I think it was what's her name, Iris.
Yeah.
I think that's when I think that's when I stopped watching.
I was done.
Like
now if we're talking X, Y, and Z,
I have no idea.
Serena.
That's his childhood friend, isn't it?
Yeah, she was. It's funny because I don't know if we're talking ships or anything, but and I told you this at one point.
Yeah.
Ash and Serena.
Best ship.
I'm about it. It was the only one I was like, if Ash didn't ever get in my own head canon, if Ash didn't get with Misty, it better be Serena. Like, cause there's no one else. Like, okay. Serena actually likes you, so you best not fuck that up, boy.
Okay. Cause Misty made it very clear she was into Ash.
Yeah.
And he was 10. Yeah. So.
And Serena
like he didn't
very clear.
He didn't get it.
So I think Serena is the only character with an actual canon kiss with Ash.
Is there an episode where Serena and Misty meet each other?
No,
because that would have
been great.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been amazing. Which is funny because Misty gets a small reappearance for a few episodes in Sun and Moon.
Oh yeah, and then she takes her clothes off and she goes swimming.
What?
There's a whole gif of that.
What? I didn't see that.
Like, you didn't see it?
No, I did not see that.
No, like, there are people who legitimately...
From Sun and Moon.
I think so. Is that the one where they're on the island and the whole art style changes?
Yeah, Ash is in school.
Yeah. Like, her and Brock come back, and apparently they go swimming.
Yep.
And so she takes off her shirt, and she runs into, like, the water or something like that.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Pokemon getting risque out here, yo.
I mean, Pokemon was started off risque because, Misty had on Daisy Dukes.
Yeah, Misty was like wearing no clothes.
Like she had on Daisy Dukes and red Chucks.
She was wearing no clothes. Yeah, you're right. You absolutely.
But
right.
I will put it this way. Right now, the best girl for me is Jessie, because she's been a strong contender.
I like Skyla.
Which one is Skyla?
Skyla's like one of the gym leaders from, I think, like... Oh, you know what? Let me... I'm gonna look her up right now, because I know who I'm talking about, and I know who I'm looking for. You keep going. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. Jessie has low-key been, like, so consistent with just being, like... silly and like low-key fine. Like, I never noticed how fine Jessie actually was until probably like a couple of months ago.
That's Skyla.
But Skyla's cute.
Skyla. If we talking about my favorite girl, if we're not talking ships, Skyla, bomb. She's fine, dog.
But yeah, it'd be Jessie. But I think Sabrina takes over because I really like Sabrina. I liked her character. I liked her, her design. I liked everything about Sabrina. So I'll probably say Sabrina. So Sabrina for me, and like what, Skyla for you?
Skyla for me.
Yeah.
She's good. She's good.
Yeah, but shout out to Ash's mom. Ash's mom has been cute for a while. She has.
Still waiting on his son to come home for a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
Still waiting.
And just told him to change his you-know-what. I miss that.
I miss that, too.
I'm glad they did away with the bike thing.
Yeah, the bike thing was getting old. That bike thing was getting really old.
Which is funny, because they only happened 3 times. But it was 2 times too many.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, no. The second one was actually kind of funny.
Yeah, when it happened to Dawn, I was like, "Oh, okay, this is getting played out. This is getting played out." And I don't think they do it, and they don't do it anymore after Dawn.
Nope, because they realize, because they probably watch it over again. They're like,
We gotta drop this.
Yeah, we gotta stop that.
We gotta stop this joke. Now,
I mean, Team Rocket blasting off again has never. That's actually never gotten old.
No, it hasn't.
Which is weird because they do that every episode.
Now, my final question is: will Ash lose the Alola League and drop out of school?
Yes.
Because I swear, if he drops out of school, he's literally sending the message that it is okay to drop out of school.
I mean, he's already giving off the impression that losing is not the worst thing, which is not.
Which is not.
But, however, aim for the top. If you're not first, then you're last.
All right. Here's the thing. Pokemon teaches losing is okay, but let's not lose
all the time.
All the time. Let's not lose 8 times in a row.
Like if you lose
let's not lose like 5 times in a row.
If you drop it 8 in a row, dog, retire. like find a different profession. You're 10. You've been 10 for like 30 years, but you have your entire life ahead of you.
You have your entire infinite 10-year-old life ahead of you.
I remember when I was a kid and I first started watching like Pokemon, and this is when I thought that it was gonna stop. Like sometime fairly soon, because everything else in my life stopped after a while. I was like, at the end of this, you're gonna be the Pokemon master by beating your dad in a Pokemon battle, and we never even discussed where his dad is. It's never even been a plot.
Yeah. You know what, too? And I think the biggest thing, and I feel like this is probably going to change soon. I don't think it'll ever will, but I think with Sun and Moon, especially if they're going to keep this art style and keep this new direction going forward, with doing things differently. Because a lot of people said it. Because a lot of people wanted Ash to win in X and Y and have him finally win a championship. So in Sun and Moon, because Sun and Moon was pretty much like almost like, because every new game almost feels like like they're slowly just trying to softly reboot Pokemon. But Sun and Moon, because they did so much calling back to Gen 1 and stuff like that, I feel like Sun and Moon should have been like a reboot for the series in a way, and a lot of people wanted Ash to win in X and Y so we could have gotten a new main character in Sun and Moon, because especially now that I hear how upset people are with Ash in the Alola League right now, some BS happens. But I mean,
doesn't it always?
But here's the thing, it's like actual BS of like, why am I like this is stupid, like why? Because if this was in one of the other anime, it would have happened a certain kind of way, and that would have been it. But because it's Sun and Moon, it's like basically it's kind of like a gag funny show. When we're in like a serious tournament, this one thing happens, and then we break the rules of the tournament just so the main character can still stay in the tournament. When we never had an issue of letting the main character fail before. So it's really weird, and a lot of people are starting to have issues with Sun and Moon, but I really think it's getting about it, like I've always like it, Ash is definitely has overstayed his welcome, but I feel like now it's really starting to feel the effects on the fans, where it's like, okay, I think Ash has been here too long. I think because they've already announced new set of games, already announced Sword and Shield. We know Ash is probably still going to be the main character, but I think it's time. It's time to switch up main characters. I think it's time. And for the new season of Yu-Gi-Oh, can we please get a female pro tag?
Please. Can we
get a female Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist?
Yeah, like I need a good girl. To take over the reins and be the first female president
of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Of Yu-Gi-Oh. We call them all the Yu-Gi-Oh protagonists the presidents in office, because they're always there for like 4 years.
You pretty much are.
So it kind of always kind of works out.
Oh, that way. It does.
Before we go, I have an extra question.
Oh.
What is the worst unanswered question that you that for you in anime?
Worst unanswered question?
Yeah, like there was something that you've been wondering about that you've been waiting for the answer for, and then when you got to the end, they never answered it.
Oh no. Does Fooly Cooley count?
I mean, Fooly Cooley does count.
Oh yeah, I always wonder what happened. Like that whole thing. Like where did they go? Where did they go?
Did you watch the other two?
You talking about the new stuff?
Yeah.
No.
I didn't get a chance to watch it either. So I was wondering if they could answer that question. I didn't see my boy Naota in any of the trailers. So I don't know if he actually came back with her. All I know is she's back and she's doing something. See, but you're just wondering, like,
burning desires now to watch it. Now I'm like, what the fuck happened to my boy?
Yeah, right.
My boy.
So that's yours. Like mine is what happened to Zuko's mom.
Oh.
Like legitimately.
You have to read the thing then.
Yeah, like you got to read the thing. I did not read the thing. I watched the video on it.
Oh.
So, but at the time, it was like,
oh yeah,
why?
Why would you?
Because they literally the last episode, he's like, "Where's my mom?" And then they never brought it up again.
They cut it, yeah.
And then they went to Korra, and then I think one of like her grandkids asked like, "What was up with Zuko's mom?" And then Katara was about to tell the story. And then someone was like, "That's too boring. Let's move on with our lives." I was like, "Fuck you."
Well, that's because at that point, it's a joke. It's a joke within a joke. It's a joke now because it's if you want to know, it's you have to read the Avatar comic books.
Yeah, and it's really sad what happens to her. Actually, it actually pains me to think about it.
Yeah, poor Zuko.
Yeah, Zuko always getting shafted, dog.
Zuko's a great character.
Zuko's the best, all-time best boy. All time.
He tries.
Fight me on it.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah, that's pretty much it for this podcast. We're almost 2 hours strong. So if you're still here, thank you.
We were probably your ASMR.
Yeah, we're just not as quiet.
No, we're not.
At all.
No, I'm sorry.
But definitely, if you did enjoy this podcast, please leave a like. If you want us to cover other topics in the next podcast, please, you can leave them down below in the comment section. I'm also going to be on asking for them on Twitter. I'm going to be asking for them in my Discord, and I'm going to make a post in my community section saying, "Hey, I need topics to talk about for the next podcast." In the next podcast, we're gonna have Hyper Shane here. Oh. So if you're a fan of his, good. If you don't know who he is, tune into the podcast. Yeah, this has been ShootingStar Sheriff. I'll give you like 30 seconds to self-promote yourself.
Oh, what?
Go.
Oh, snap. That I wasn't expecting that, man. It's like late at night. You got me doing a 30-second. But yo, what's going on, guys? ShootingStar Sheriff here. I am I play games. I have a good time over on my channel. We play a lot of mobile games. I think my biggest one is like Azure Lane. I love Azure Lane. I play a lot of different stuff. I just try everything, man. But I'm a big gamer guy, so come over there, check me out. I'm actually got a series with Taylor where we're watching anime from our past. We're watching stuff from our past, so that's been fun. So definitely go check that out over there as well. And man, go ahead and give a healthy some scrizzles. Oh, especially if you're new to Taylor here too, give him a subscrizzle, so you can keep getting more of this good content in your face and in your ear holes.
Cool. Thanks, man. Yeah. Link to this channel down in the description below. And until next video, guys, peace out.
Yo, later.